I'm here with Claire Lopez, coming off a huge win this past weekend at RIZIN against Reina. Claire, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very good. I'm still in my dream.
Yeah. So you're back home in France at the minute, aren't you? Is that normal to try and head home after a fight?
To what?
Is it normal for you to try and head home to France after a fight?
Yeah, always. Yeah, because I spend a lot of time in London, and I'm not with my son. He stay in France, so as long as after a fight, I always go in France.
Mm.
But right now, I just need a long break, like 2, 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and I'll get back to London in end of the month.
Yeah, that must be tricky, right? Obviously, training so far away from home. You mentioned your son there. That's hard for you, right?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, it's not easy, of course, but it's more for him, I think. Uh, Obviously he would like to stay with me, but at the moment it's not easy to bring my son in London. The life is really expensive, so maybe later, but right now we have to do like that. We
Yeah.
stay with my parents. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the fight in a minute. It was amazing. But first, how was Japan? How was that experience for you?
that was amazing. I say this word a lot of time, but yeah, that was the best experience of my life, because it's not just about the fight. It's everything around the fight week, people, the on rising
Yeah,
is incredible. It's crazy. It's really like the pride
yeah,
spirit. And yeah, I think this is what I was missing before. I felt that I needed something more than just the fight. And when I went in Japan, I realized that all this energy around the fight in rising, this is what I like to do. I'm really happy.
yeah. You really, compared to say American promotions, you really notice the difference in the pageantry they put into it, don't you?
Yeah, but in every organization, I think the star is the organization, and everything is around the organization. But in rising, the fighters are the star. That all the light on fighters, and they treat very well the fighters. So you feel really special, even for the fan, the crown. It's really different.
Yeah. So how long were you over in Japan for in total?
We stay 5 days in Japan. Yeah, we arrived on Wednesday, and the fight was Saturday, so I didn't really have time to go in Tokyo and see the
No.
the city. But maybe the next time I will stay 1 week more than after the fight,
Yeah.
just to see the yeah, Japan.
You mentioned next time there. Is that the plan? Obviously, you're signed to Combate, but they worked out this deal. Is there a plan to maybe go back to Ryzen again?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, as you said, I'm still signing with Combate for a year again. Yeah, 2024. But it's hard for Combate to find me an opponent. I think my last fight was in August, and I've been waiting so long, and they can't find someone for me. So for them, it's good to have someone on Rising, to have someone who can represent the Combate Global on Rising.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, I'm just more busy. I'm more active in my MMA career, and yeah, after my fight, the matchmaker say, "Oh, that was really good fight. So we really want to have you again." So they're working on this with Combate and my manager. So we'll see. Maybe this summer. Let's see.
Yeah, it feels like the UFC are kind of taking all of the women from your division in Combate, right? Obviously, Melissa Martinez, Yasmin Uragi's there. Yeah,
Yeah, Tracy Cortez also. She
yeah,
went from Combate. Yeah, but the problem with UFC, they don't have my division. They have strawweight 52. But if I fight in strawweight, I don't cut. It's my normal weight. I'm 53 on training, so uh, I'll be fighting with women really heavier than me. I'm not sure it's the good option for me. And as I said, what I saw in Japan and Rising is exactly what I want to do,
mm,
what I want to be, where I want to be. So yeah, I don't really mind about UFC at the moment. It's not in my mind. It's just I'm just gonna keep going on this direction with Rising and combating.
yeah. Because I noticed you said something on Instagram earlier about the kind of weight class. Because this fight was catch weight, right? 112. Yeah.
Yes, so it was 51 kilo. Actually, it's more Rena's fight, Rena's weight. She chose to fight at this weight, so the organization say, okay, we're gonna do a division at 51 just for Rena.
Mm.
So for me, it was good because I didn't cut a lot. I just cut 500 gram, which is really good. But I say to RIZIN, I want to fight at 49, the super atomweight division.
Mm.
So next time, if I go back to RIZIN, it will be in 49 kilo.
Okay, I feel like we've buried the lead enough here. Let's talk about the fight, right?
Yes.
Um, how did that feel for you in the moment? Obviously, you talked about RIZIN making the fighters come across as the star, but being in the fight in the moment, how did that feel?
um, when I'm fighting, I really enjoy the moment. I'm really happy to be here. I'm not nervous, a little bit, but not like I'm not stressed. I like to be in the cage. But I have to say that this fight was really tough. I think my cardio was not really good on this fight. I was really tired. Um, and yeah, it was intense. It was intense because she moved forward and I moved forward. We have an aggressive style, so I get tired. But at the same time, I was happy to be here, and it's the first time I do 3 rounds in a fight. I always do 1 round, maybe two, so 1.5. But this is the first time I go to 14 minutes, and I'm happy because I finally push myself and test myself in a fight, and yeah, it was a good fight, good moment to have, man.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to watch the fight back yet or not?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I watched it a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, let's go with the finish. Crazy submission. Do you want to talk about the position you found yourself in there and how you pulled it off? Because it wasn't anything I've seen before.
Yeah. So it's something I've worked a lot on training.
Yeah.
I learned this submission with my French coach, Sam. I think 2 years ago, he wanted to show me some leg lock and knee bar. I don't really like leg lock, but knee bar, yeah. And he said, okay, I'm gonna show you one. It's something you don't really see a lot. It's a
Mm.
little bit old school, but it works. It's like a basic. It works really well. So I'm gonna show you. And he showed me, and I tried it, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this. It's like you click in a second, and oh, this is for me. I like it. And then I try on training, and every time I do on training, maybe not with the big guys, but with people my size, my weight, always work, always. And
Mm.
people are always surprised. So I'm like, oh yeah, people don't really know about this submission. So it's a good last solution for me when I when I don't know what to do. I go for this dog bar.
Yeah.
And in this fight, it was like maybe 30 seconds before the end of the fight, and I think I would lose this fight by decision. So I had to finish. I had to find a way to finish the fight. And after the takedown, I was on half guard, and she was pushing my head down. So it's exactly what I need to do this knee bar. So I say, let's go. I have this is my last option. I have to do it, and yeah, it worked. I think she didn't really realize what was happening at this moment because she tapped too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way.
So for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's essentially a knee bar with the legs, right?
Yes, it's you have guard with an underhook,
Mm.
and you push your hips on the knee, and you pull the heel with your leg, and it works really well. Yeah.
Yeah. I just got visions in my head now of you bringing this back to GB Top Team, and everyone's like, "Wait, what's this?"
Oh, they already know because I've done
Yeah,
it
yeah.
on a lot
Yeah,
of
I mean,
people. Yeah.
I mean, when you brought it, when you learned it in France and then brought it back to GB Top Team, and you're doing it on guys in
Oh
training,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah. They
yeah,
always like, wow, that's nice, that's cool. I say, yeah, but it's my move. It's my move.
yeah,
I don't give
it's
you the
yours
secret.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that's surely going to be up there at the end of the year for submission of the year, but you might have a bit of competition from your own gym now, right? I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
Olga last night.
So what?
I don't know if you saw
Olga.
Olga's submission last night.
Yeah, yeah. We have some crazy submission in this team.
Yeah,
Yeah, she done a buggy check. Buggy check.
yeah. So it's going to be you and her at the end of the year for submission of the year, right?
Maybe we'll see.
No, but there's something in the water at GB Top Team, especially with the women now, right? Obviously yourself, Olga, Chanel Dye is killing it right now.
Mm,
Kate
yeah.
Bakich in Cage Warriors. How good is it just being around that GB Top Team room at the minute?
It's I think for me it's the best team to train because we have a lot of lightweights. Even the guy we have a lot of flyweights. Really high level wrestling, striking, grappling, and we have a big female team.
Mm.
It's good because sometimes when you train with guys, they are stronger, but they try to be nice. You know, they don't want to smash you, obviously. But when you spar with a woman like Chanel, she's not gonna let you win. I mean, she's gonna try to do her stuff, and we go not 100%, but at 95%. So you really can test yourself in sparring and see where you are. And for me I train a lot with Chanel for this training camp because I knew my opponent was a striker, good striker. And for me, Chanel is the best
Yeah,
striker, female striker in London.
I agree.
So yeah, and she's tall, and I thought my opponent was tall, so I say Chanel is perfect. Let's try. And for 8 weeks of training camp, she smashed me. That was a really hard training camp for me. Sometimes after the sparring, I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. She just smashed me. I'm not ready. But at the end, when you train with people like that with high level, you get better. Obviously, it's hard to realize at the moment, but after 8 weeks, you say, "Oh wow, I improve a lot." So now I'm ready for Rena because Rena is not better than Chanel.
Mm.
And yeah, that's amazing to have a team like that with women the same weight like you and high level. Yeah, we help each other. I help her for wrestling, she helped me for striking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chanel fought last week or the week before, so it's handy when these kind of line up together as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we done this training camp at the same time. So and Olga, yeah. So we
Yeah.
have we have the same training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Obviously, speaking of GB Top Team, I saw the video from earlier in the week. You were given your blue belt from Coach Grimshaw. How was that? Did that
Yeah.
surprise you a bit, or were you expecting it after that submission?
To be honest, I started jiu-jitsu 8 years ago, and I think I deserve my blue belt since a long time now. But it's just like I've moved a lot from France, French Guyana, London. I've done a lot of different gyms, so I've never really had this opportunity to get that. And Ashley Grimshaw, the black belt of GB Top Team, he say maybe 2 months ago, he said, "Oh yeah, I have to give you a blue belt. Oh, I have to give. Oh, I forgot." And I'm like, "Oh, when you gonna give me my blue belt?" He said, "After your fight."
Okay.
So after the submission, he had to give me my blue belt. It was like, finally. So now I'm gonna wait 5 years for my my purple belt.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed watching the fight, the commentators they had at RIZIN, the English commentators, were talking a lot about your corner and obviously Brad, Ash, the kind
Mm.
of information they were giving you. They really like praised them for their work in that fight as well, which is something I took away from that.
Yeah, yeah. The coaching during this fight was really amazing, and I really needed to have a jiu-jitsu coach for this fight because I wanted to go on the ground.
Yeah.
I wanted to go on submission, and Ashley was, I think, was the best to be in the corner, and he really gave me every information, like put your hands here, do this, do that, and I tried to listen everything and do everything he told me, and yeah, I think it was the perfect coaching for this fight. Yeah, really good, and I saw the commentator, they enjoyed to listen to the coach.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your journey because I was doing some research before this and I didn't really find too much. How does a French woman who's fighting in Europe end up coming to the UK? What's the story there?
Um, so I was training in Paris 5 years ago, and I met my friend Sam, who became after my coach, and he say I have to show you what MMA is in USA. So we went in Las Vegas for 3 weeks, and I saw the difference between France and USA, and I was like, wow, that's huge. That's a big difference. It's really professional, and the wrestling is really high level. We don't have this in France. 5 years ago, we didn't have this.
Hmm.
So in my head, I was like, I think I have to, if I want to get better, and I'm already old, I was 29 years old, I have to find another place to train, another country. USA was too far from France with my son, and you need a visa. But London was a good opportunity. So with my friend, we say, let's try to go in London and see every gym, see if you have a good gym for you. And this is where I met Brad Pickett in Titan. It was still Titan. And yeah, I trained with Brad. I didn't know who was Brad Pickett because I'm not a big fan of MMA and UFC. But I was like, wow, this guy is good. He has good wrestling. I like his style. And I said, yeah, I think it's gonna be my team. I found my team, and Brad was really happy to have me in the team. So this is where we start training together, and since that, yeah, I stay and I found my place.
Yeah, I kind of figured that a lot of that would come from just not having the right opportunities in France because the sport only got legalized there a couple of years ago. So
Yeah, 2020.
yeah,
Yeah, so when I started MMA in 2017, it was they call this pancras, which is
yeah,
MMA without ground and pound and without elbow. So if you want to fight, you can fight. You just have to move in England or Poland or anywhere.
yeah,
But you can train. You can still train. But I think people have a lack of experience and knowledge. We have really good Muay Thai, really good Jiu-Jitsu, but MMA is not. It's not like in the 90s. It's a war sport, and you have to learn the transition, the cage wrestling. And in France, this is something we have to work on again for a few years because I think we still have a little difference between France and USA or England. So yeah, but even for the opportunities, when I came here in London with Brad, um, it's like I start getting more. I start getting more opportunities like Bellator, Combate Global, now
yeah.
RIZIN. So yeah, obviously it was the best of the best thing to do for my career.
And how do you feel now seeing how it's grown in France? Obviously, we've got Aries, we've got Hexagon doing big shows,
Yeah,
UFC
yeah,
champions coming out of France. It's like, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Now it's gonna be something big in France MMA. We have a Sirigan, obviously. Um, to be honest, I don't really want to fight in France.
mm,
Uh, it's more because I like to travel. I like to go on big shows like Combate, Rising, but but yeah, I have to say that MMA is getting better. We have good coaches. We have a big gym, so maybe in a couple of years it's gonna be a good country to train. But right now, for me, this is not the place I want to train or fight.
yeah. Just before we finish up here, back to Combate, and what do you feel is next for you? You talked about Ryzen again and how it's tough for Combate to kind of match you, but Melissa was the champion. She's now in the UFC. There's kind of an open spot there. So looking forward, what do you see for yourself?
Um, what I'm asking to Combate is I want to get my title fight because they rank me number 2 in the atomweight division. So I'm just waiting to take the number 1 and have this title fight. But she never she never took this fight at the moment. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. If they have something for me, great. I'm gonna fight. If not, they will have to let me fight on Rising because I need to be active. It's I don't work. It's just I'm just fighting. So if I don't fight, I don't have money. I don't have nothing. So if they have the title fight for me, great. And if I can do both Rising and Combat at the same time, it's amazing for me.
Yeah. Have you got any?
And UFC, why not? But I'm not dreaming about UFC. So yeah, I would like to stay in Asia. Like Rising One FC, there are big opportunities and good things to do there.
Yeah. Have you got anyone in mind that you'd like to fight next? Obviously, you beat Raiden, who's one of the biggest stars in. You good?
So if I see on Rising, there was a fight after mine on super atomweight, and the matchmaker talk about maybe fighting the winner of this fight, which is
Yeah.
Kana.
Yep.
Her name is Kana.
Yep.
And yeah, yeah, if they give me this girl, I would be happy to fight her. I think she's a wrestler, so it's good for me. I like to wrestling, so let's go. And after, yeah, I would like to fight the champion. What you say, the champion? Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that's a good matchup. Kana has a submission win over Reina as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it will be a
perfect,
great
right?
fight.
Just before we finish here, just shout out any sponsors if you want and where people can keep up with what you're doing.
Yeah, so for my sponsor, I have the Vigorate, who helped me for this training camp. It was really hard for me with money for this camp, but they helped me, so I want to thank them. My team, my coach Brad, Ash, all my teammates, and yeah, that's it.
All right, perfect. Thank you for taking the time today, especially now you're back home in France. I didn't want to
Yeah,
take too much of your time, but enjoy the rest of your time in France, and hopefully we see you back in the cage soon.
yeah,
Or
soon,
the
soon.
ring if it's Ryzen. They might have the ring that time.
Yeah, they say to Rising. I don't mind to fight in the ring. It's a good experience. So cage or ring, that's fine for me. I'll take it.
Yeah. Thanks for the time today, Claire. Yeah, hopefully we see you back in there soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.